My name is Alex, and I am slowly dissolving. It's not a dramatic, cinematic vanishing. It's the quiet erosion of self, grain by grain, under the relentless tide of the grind. I used to be someone passionate, sharp, maybe a little too eager. Now I'm just a vessel for deadlines, a processor for Slack notifications, and a tightly wound coil of dread disguised in business casual. It started, like it probably does for most, with ambition. Fresh out of my MBA, I landed at Viridian Dynamics, sleek offices, glass walls reflecting hustle, and the intoxicating buzz of disruption. My boss, Sarah, was a whirlwind, early 40s, perpetually caffeinated, a walking monument to leaning in. "Sleep is for the weak, Alex," she'd chirp, clapping me on the shoulder at 8 p.m. This is where the magic happens. The magic, it seemed, involved spreadsheets that bled into weekends and performance reviews that felt like interrogations. Then there was Ben. Ben sat across from me, 10 years older, perpetually tired, with the resigned slump of Atlas holding up a world made of TPS reports. He'd been through 3 restructurings. He spoke in hushed tones about colleagues who'd vanished overnight, their Slack icons grayed out, their desks cleared before lunch. Headcount optimization, they called it. It sounded sterile. It felt like a guillotine perpetually hovering, and my own descent wasn't a plunge. It was a suffocating drift. The first red flag was physical. A constant knot between my shoulder blades, like a clenched fist. Then came the insomnia. I'd lie awake at 3 a.m., my brain whirring like an overheating server, replaying every email, every unfinished task. The glow of my phone became my nightlight, a digital tether to the office I'd physically left hours before. I started skipping the gym, then skipping meals, replacing them with vending machine granola bars eaten mechanically at my desk. My world shrank to the dimensions of my monitor. Sarah noticed my drive. "That's what I like to see, Alex. Hustle." She piled on more. A new high-visibility project, a mentorship program, meaning I trained potential replacements, and the unspoken expectation, always be on. Vacation, I took 3 days last year. Spent 2 of them fielding urgent emails and prepping for a meeting on my supposed day off. The third, I slept. The emotional toll was subtler, deeper. Joy became a foreign currency. My girlfriend, Maya, started asking questions. Gentle at first. "You seem tired, love." Then worried. "Alex, are you okay? You haven't laughed in weeks." Then frustrated. "You promised we'd go away this weekend." "It's always work." I'd snap. Irritation was my default setting now, a low-grade fever of resentment. I stopped calling my parents. Their voices, full of mundane concern about my health, felt like sandpaper on raw nerves. I was disappearing even to myself. Conversations felt like performances. Laughter felt forced, brittle. Ben became my grim mirror. One Tuesday, I found him staring blankly at his screen, the blue light reflecting in eyes devoid of focus. "You okay, Ben?" I mumbled, my own voice sounding tinny and far away. He didn't turn. "My kid's school play was last night. The importance of being earnest." He was Algernon. Had one line. Ben's voice was flat. "I missed it. Got stuck on a call with Singapore." Again. The raw pain beneath the monotone hit me like a physical blow. "Ben, I'm so sorry." He finally looked at me, a ghost of a bitter smile on his lips. "Don't be. It's just the cost of opportunity, right? That's what they tell us." He gestured vaguely at the open-plan office buzzing around us. "This place, it doesn't just take your time, Alex. It takes the things that make time worth having." His words crystallized my own gnawing emptiness. What was I doing this for? The promotion Sarah dangled? To afford what? An apartment I only slept in? A life I had no time to live? The constant, low-grade fear, Ben's fear, was the soundtrack. Am I next? Is my worth only measurable in deliverables? What happens if I stop? The breaking point wasn't dramatic. It was a Tuesday morning. Just another Tuesday. I'd been up until 2 a.m. finishing a deck. Slept maybe 3 hours. My coffee tasted like acid. My inbox had 47 new messages by 9:15 a.m. 3 marked urgent. Sarah pinged me, "Alex, need you to jump on a quick call the Henderson account. Now." I clicked the link. Joined the Zoom. Sarah's face filled the screen, radiating her usual manic energy. "Alex, great. Okay, Henderson needs a complete pivot on the Q3 projections. They saw a competitor's report and panicked. We need new models, analysis, a presentation deck by end of day." End of day. It was 9:30 a.m. The sheer, crushing impossibility of it landed on my chest like a physical weight. My vision tunneled. The voices on the call, Sarah's, the clients, became a distorted, underwater buzz. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. Couldn't breathe, literally couldn't draw air. "Alex? Alex, are you there?" "You muted." I fumbled, unmuting. All that came out was a strangled gasp. "Alex? What's wrong?" "Bad connection." Sarah sounded impatient. I tried to speak, to say anything, but my throat had closed. Tears, hot and humiliating, welled up and spilled over. A sob ripped from me, raw and ugly, straight into my microphone, broadcast to Sarah and the Henderson team. Silence. Horrified, deafening silence on the call. Then, Sarah, clipped and cold. "Alex, I think you need to take a moment. We'll reconvene later." The call disconnected. I sat there, shaking violently, tears streaming down my face, utterly shattered. Not by the workload, but by the sheer, exposed vulnerability of it. The machine had finally broken its component part, and it had happened in front of everyone. I didn't go back to my desk. I walked out, just left. The bright, artificial light of the lobby felt blinding. The city outside seemed too loud, too fast, too real. I ended up on a park bench, numb, staring at pigeons fighting over a discarded bagel. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Sarah, then HR, then Maya. I silenced it. That afternoon, sitting in the too bright, sterile office of the company-mandated therapist, a benefit I'd never used, the word finally landed. Burnout. It wasn't just tired. It wasn't just stressed. It was a systemic shutdown, a depletion so profound my body and mind had simply said, "No more." The therapist, a kind woman with tired eyes herself, nodded. "It's an epidemic, Alex, especially in your generation. The constant pressure, the instability, the feeling that your worth is tied solely to productivity. It's toxic. It breaks people. The path back isn't linear. It's messy, painful, and slow." I took medical leave. Sarah was pragmatic, supportive on the surface, but the unspoken message was clear. Get fixed. Get back. Ben texted me, "Welcome to the Ghost Club. Take the time." Maya held me while I cried. The first real tears I'd shed in years. Tears that weren't just frustration but grief for the person I'd lost. Recovery isn't glamorous. It's learning to breathe again without a vice around my chest. It's deleting work email from my phone. It's saying no for the first time and feeling the terrifying, exhilarating weight of that boundary. It's cooking a meal and actually tasting it. It's sitting with Maya, really sitting, not just physically present while my mind races through task lists. It's feeling the sun on my face and realizing I hadn't truly felt it in months. That I went back to Viridian. For now. The fear of Ben's guillotine is still there, a constant hum beneath the surface. The hustle culture hasn't changed. Sarah still runs on caffeine and ambition. But I have changed. I see the machine now, not as an engine of opportunity, but as a hungry beast that will consume you whole if you let it. I see Ben's exhaustion, Sarah's brittle energy masking her own fear, the new hires with that terrifying, familiar spark in their eyes. The spark I once had my name is Alex. I am reassembling myself, piece by fragile piece. I am learning to exist outside the machine, to value the ghost I became only as a warning, not a destination. The hustle never sleeps, but maybe, just maybe, I can learn to rest. The cost of opportunity should never be your soul. The real magic doesn't happen at 8 p.m. under fluorescent lights. It happens when you finally step away, breathe the free air, and remember what it feels like to be alive. The fight isn't over, but I'm finally learning how to fight back. For my time, for my life, for myself.